This is See Us TV, featuring interviews with various guests as we discuss interesting topics and upcoming events. And also join us as we visit public and social gatherings throughout the Pacific Northwest when See Us TV is out and about. Welcome to this episode of See Us TV.
Yes. Okay, everyone. Aloha, this is Uncle Bill.
I want to thank you all for coming, yeah? Mahalo. We started this event in 2005. That's way back. But today made history because we never ever had a Native Indian canoes. So thank you, all of you, for coming. We are so blessed that you came, and I want to thank the college tribe because Jerry Tappan and the family and everyone for just being there for us. But if I can, I want to pass the microphone to my lovely. I'm going to try and talk. I had, if you didn't know me, I was very busy. I had a stroke, a massive stroke about 2 years ago, and I almost passed away. But I thank the Creator, the man above, and thank Him that I'm here. But no further ado, I want to pass it to my lovely wife, Kalama Gloria, Kalama Lama, Ka'ili Aloha, Nahale'a.
Thank you. I have to tell you a funny little thing. When Bill was in the hospital, he couldn't remember who I was. And so the nurses would say, well, do you know who she is? And he'd say, he looked at me, couldn't remember. He'd smile very sweetly. And I'd look at him and I said, you don't remember? He says, nope. So I had to remind him I was his, because now I knew I could reprogram his thinking. I had it all. It was great. So I said, this is your lovely wife, Gloria Nahalea. And every day he'd look at me and say, who are you? I had to repeat that. So now I have him programmed right. Isn't that wonderful? Big hand for him. And he can clap for me now. But we want to say thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And I wanted to do a shout out because several of you who are out here was coming up and saying, I remember I was here on that first years. And so if we were here in 2005 and 2006, would you please stand up so everybody can see you, that you folks have been... Diane, weren't you here? There you go. The canoe. Thank you so very, very much for being here with us. And without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass that on to Allah. This is one of our secondary MC that you met. You met Talia yesterday, Talia Manupati. She's over there sharing her Kellys and slushies. And we also have Allah. I'm just so blessed to have Allah here with us. She's got that most gorgeous, beautiful voice. And then the last MC you'll be hearing today is Sister Tai Tufono with the coconut wireless.
and my heart called out to you.
Hi, aloha mai kako. This is Kavena Begay here with Big Event Live, and I'm here to talk with Bill and Gloria Nahalea, the founders of the Kalama Heritage Fest. So first of all, I'd love to hear, how did this get started in the first place? How did you come up with this idea? What was involved in starting it in 2005?
Yeah, well, let her.
Well,
You get
kind
that.
of exciting, Kavena. I had an opportunity in 1999 to do a documentary research about the Kalama family and the pioneers of Hawaiians here in the King County, and led me to meeting up with the Zelma Blanche and Zelda Kalama from Nisqually, and I thought that they were living here in Kalama. They were not. So what they did, though, they did turn me on to Fort Nisqually, and where they had some history there. And it turned out I learned more about their relationship with John Kalama, who came from Kula, Maui, and then he was employed by Hudson Bay Fur Company, and he was the one that this town is named for. And as I was doing that research, had an opportunity to have helped create a Washington state resolution that did indicate that the Hawaiians were definitely a historic impact here in the
Wow.
Northwest. So that was done in 1999, 2001. We were able to bring out that information out to the Seattle area. What happened then after that was the city of Kalama saw this Washington state resolution, and in 2004 they invited us to come and do a celebration of the 175th anniversary of John Kalama's arrival
Oh.
here to Kalama. And when that happened, we don't do things small. It is really tough for us to do something small. We're from Seattle area, and it's big there. Kalama has a population of 1,800, and they wanted to invite the Kalama family to celebrate, and they wanted to have the entire family be invited. Well, at that time in 2004, it's over 2,600 people, 2,600 family members. We would have clearly been 3 times the population of Kalama.
Yes. And were they coming from all over the place too?
They were coming from all over. But not only them, but when people picked up on what we were sharing, shoots, we had a lot of people coming in for that festival, and it was only going to be a dinner for 250 people.
Wow.
That started off with having a concert with Dennis Kamakahi, Charlie Ricardo, and John Kiave.
Wow. Some really big names.
Big-
And they came all the way up here to celebrate this?
Yes.
Amazing.
And the family, Charlotte and Fred Kalama, who were the grandchildren of John Kalama, lives over in Tahola and in Queets,
Okay.
in
Wow.
on the Washington coastline where the Quinault Nation is. And we had an opportunity to have them come. They came from there. They came from Warm Springs. They came from all over. The family came all over. And that started it. It was only going to be a 1-year event. It was not going to be.
Oh, took on a life of its own. Wow.
So here we are now doing this fabulous 2022. Here we are.
Well,
with this.
and one of the things I've noticed, because I've been to this festival a few times, unfortunately, I haven't been able to make it every year, but the growth that has happened, and this year what I'm hearing is there is a lot more of a connection with the Native Indigenous peoples and the Hawaii. It's not just a festival about Kalama anymore. It's really a festival that sort of spans boundaries and makes connections between peoples. How did that come about? I mean, there's vendors here from all over the place. There have been so many wonderful educational opportunities for people who just stop by and don't know anything. So how did it grow so big?
Well, this location, Kavena, as we see it today, in 2005, on the very first one, the Harbor Lodge was not in existence. The amphitheater stage was not here. This beautiful park was not here. What this actually was behind us was a RV park camp. And
Wow.
the folks that came was because of the fishing industry, and the camping people would come here for that. people pretty much overlooked Kalama. It's a
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous place. It
Mm-hmm.
sits with the Columbia River on one
Oh, it's
side.
beautiful
Isn't
here.
it beautiful?
Oh.
And then there's the railroad,
Mm-hmm.
and then the highway. And so Kalama is unique because we have the Port of Kalama Park area separated by the railroad station or railroad tracks
Oh,
and
it's
the freeway.
impossible not to know how to get here. All roads lead here, no matter what kind of transportation you're taking.
And so when that happened, the first year, it was a sleepy little place. What the Port of Kalama developed this area, and as it continued to develop, the interpretive center came in and was built. They'd always wanted to have that to talk about the richness and of the history of the transportation, all the travel leads here. Mike McMiniman was in Hawaii one year, sitting under the Pioneer Inn banyan tree. And as he was sitting there, he's dreaming and he's looking at that theater or that hotel and thought, we have to have one in Kalama. And he chose Kalama for it to be at because of its connections with John Kalama in Maui. John
Oh,
Kalama came
yes.
from Kula, Maui. So that was starting to begin to kind of in the development stages. And as the Kalama Festival was held yearly after year after year after year, and we had to transport staging, bathrooms, all the chairs and anything to create a bleachers to create a festival. So everything was being sent all the time,
Wow.
or at least imported here to
Yes.
even
Yes.
create the festival.
Yeah.
And so as I watched this gentleman, Mark Wilson, he hates it when I give him credit for this, but he is the one that helped develop this whole idea of having a staging and a perfect place for concerts, a perfect place to hold
Oh,
other
yes.
festivals.
Oh, it's amazing.
So we were called in to help create
Wow.
and kind of help design
Oh.
with this gorgeous thing. He had his
It
own
is
architects and everything, but isn't that great?
amazing. Oh, it is so amazing. If you have not been there, it is a destination in and of itself.
I know, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, it's gorgeous. And it does, having come from Hawaii, when I first saw it, I thought, wow, this just brings me back. This makes me feel, if there were just some palm trees around, maybe some coconuts, mango, I would feel right at home.
We even talked about, I was talking to Mike, I said, Mike, those are the things that's missing. He says, yes, if the city or if the climate, and I'm not sure if banyan tree could grow here, but that would be fun.
Oh, that would be amazing. And so I'm curious, if there were, just sort of as a closing up thought, if there was one thing that you hope that visitors and guests who came to this festival would take home with them, what would it be? What do you want them to get from this?
What I would want them to know about the festival is because it is a blending of many, many cultures. Originally, it started off with a connection with John Kalama getting married to Mary Martin. John Kalama being Hawaiian, Mary Martin being part of the native tribal Cowlitz as well as Nisqually tribe. And their blending of their union presented Peter Kalama and all of their families. They are a representation of all the Hawaiians and Indians that have a DNA of 65% of their DNA is Hawaiian, and their values of these two indigenous people crosses over many, many, many cultures and many, many heritages. And we want those folks to understand that no one is excluded, because today we certainly are a blend of many, many
Yes.
cultures. You know that yourself
yeah.
in your own family.
Yes, yes.
So I want people to know that this is a wonderful place that is, they can incorporate all of the water, the air, the trees, the beauty of this land. It goes beyond here, and that we reach our aloha can reach as many, many cultures and bring some peace and harmony to this world.
Oh, desperately needed. Oh, yes. Oh,
We desperately need that. And we need to go back to what our roots were
yes,
like.
yes. Yes, and you feel the inclusion. I mean, every part of this is about inclusion of everyone here.
Yeah.
No one is left out. Everyone has a place, and we're highlighting that love, that aloha. We're highlighting that connectiveness. Bill, I'd love to hear. Do you have anything to add as last thoughts?
I'm pretty excited because Friday we celebrated 11 years of this event, and next year it'll be 12 years, be even bigger. I got some other news, but I'll talk about later during the year of taking this event on the road, and we're pretty excited about that. It's going to be happening sometime next year, but anyway, I think my wife was pretty much informational on the event because she knows it from day one, and I'm really so thankful to Mr. Mark Wilson, the executive director of the event, for letting us show our love and Hawaiian of the Kalama Heritage Festival to the world. It was awesome.
Mahalo nui loa. And if you have not been here, if you didn't get to make it this year, make plans for it next year. The dates are still forthcoming.
Yep. We're
But you
looking
can
at August.
Okay, so August. And where can they find information if they just look up Kalama Heritage Festival? They'll find their way here.
Yep, Kalama Heritage Festivals with an S.com.
Excellent. Mahalo nui loa, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kavena.
Aloha.
Aloha.
If you've
Auntie.
been here before,
How's
you
it,
know how
Auntie?
smoothly we run and we roll. Okay? We go right along our plans. We never make any changes. And then we met the Samoan families, and we met the Aris Hawaiian families.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then we got connected with our native island and native indigenous families. And we all kind of argue as to which one really stays on time. Which one do you think?
Who's that? You in charge that time.
It's the Hawaiians.
You guys want to try the food already? Good food, yeah. Onno.
Okay.
Yeah, but how about tonight? Can I get the VIP, the concert?
Can you tell that we've been producing this together since 2005? I have my agenda. He has his. His is different. And anyone who's married couples, tell me we're the only ones that have this issue.
Oh.
So
Sorry.
actually, no, I'm just
No.
giving him a bad time because remember I told you earlier I had to reprogram his mind. We take you to the island of the big island of Hawaii and visit our volcanic eruption mountain, Kilauea, Makakau. Akaluna o Kilauea, ike ahi a kawahine. Akaluna o Kilauea, ike ahi a kawahine. Ana kawahine pele, uhi uha mai anala. Ana kawahine pele, uhi uha mai anala. O me ana o Kilauea, aia pahalana ai kaia. No me ana o pele I puna, aia kapalena ai kaia. Hei noa noa e pelea, kawahine no koa I Kilauea. One of my favorite things about this festival is that we have folks that come in and join us whenever we need music, or even when we don't need music, we love it. And then when they add, it's like adding ice cream and adding whipped cream and then putting on the maraschino cherries and putting some nuts and some sprinkles of whatever. Pretty soon you get a good meal. So thank you so much for joining us. We take you to that beautiful island of Maui. Haleakala is a mountain that sits in the middle of Maui, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Haleakala. Festival has always been the legacies and what we pass on to our family and friends and our children and the next generations, etc. But first, love has to come happening. You need to fall in love, and then you do your thing, and then you get ohana. So we like to do this song for you. For the first time we've fallen in love, E Ho'i Kapili, made famous by Mr. Kaili or Keali'i Raichel. I'd like to introduce my beautiful, this is my beautiful niece. This is lovely Ku'uipo Kanani. Song called E Ho'i Kapili, come sit next to me. E Ho'i Kapili, e Ku'uipo, enane amai, enane amai, e ke aloha, e ho'oni po ka ua. E ho'i kapili, e ku'uipo, enane amai, enane amai, e ke aloha, e ho'oni po ka ua.
E ohe no ke ke aku, ke kamoana nui la, nui ke aloha i po i nei, e ke ala o ka lipoa. E ohe no ke aku, ke kamoana nui la, nui ke aloha i po i nei, e ke ala o ka lipoa. E lipo ai pai ke one hino hinu la, pela i kala ke ia, mai mai pono ke ia. E lipo ai pai ke one hino hinu la, pela i kala ke ia, mai mai pono ke ia. Kohu e marimu kohu, ke kai uruna o na moku la, o ia moku ua lai oe, o ni ana ia ia